Hi everybody, I hope you're all having a good day. I have a project to share for you here. Actually, I have two to share with you. I have another digi from Wickedly Twisted Crafter, who is Brenda HDP77 here on YouTube. And I'm happy to be sharing some of her images with you this month. And this time, for this project, I was very much inspired by her digi called 80s Love. And the image actually looks like this here. And as you can see with this, I have been making them bigger, making them smaller, flipping them, and resizing them around. And I was really inspired by a lot of homemade project life cards recently. And I'm loving all these stacks and layers and dimensions and everything that are going on. So that inspired me to create this project here. What I did was I had printed it out on that sheet there that you had saw, and I cropped her down just to fit inside of the 3x4 Where Memory Keepers album punch. I used this to cut out the white part of her and cropped her down so that she fit really cute and perfect inside of there. And colored her up with my Copics, and then from there all of the papers out of this pack are from Studio Calico's Darling Dear paper pad. I was really loving this speech bubble background and decided that I wanted that to be my main background, and then I just grabbed some random papers out of the pack here with coordinating chevrons and flowers and these little stars I think fit her images great. So I used that to layer everything up, and like this star paper back here, I cut it again out of the same Where Memory Keepers punch and just turned it different ways, folded up the edges, and then the chevron I cut down close to the same size. It's a little bit smaller, and then I used my notebook edge punch and curled them up here just to give it look like a piece of notebook. And then I really liked the flower and I wanted to incorporate it somehow, but wasn't quite sure. And then I had seen a lot of layers on a mini album, and I really liked how they used the negative space of some things to create some interest for the background. So I thought, oh, okay, let's give that a shot. So I pulled out some papers and I took my circle punch and just cut out some voids around the end of it, just to kind of make it look like it's, you know, not perfect, but things that I could curl up here on the edges just to add a little bit more dimension and some interest to it, and I loved it. I love the colors that I chose for everything, and all of the papers coordinated well, and then got everything layered down, and I stapled it once here in the bottom corner just so that I wouldn't lose all of the layers once it was all put together, and then decided to add in a red ribbon folded in half and stapled it down twice to kind of tie in the reds together. And then I was tossing sentiments and I couldn't find the perfect one, and then I ended up cutting out this heart with a hello on it that came out of this paper pack here. It was on this sheet, and it was one of these squares in this top corner. So I decided on that, and then originally it had this little blue border around it, and that just wasn't, the color of that blue wasn't really tying in everything, so I just trimmed out the orange box and thought, perfect. And then I had a whole bunch of these little half circles that I ended up punching out from the voids to create the back part of that. They looked like this, and decided to use one of those to tie in down below it because there was just a lot of white, so that helped tie in everything all together really nice. And I absolutely love this digi. I think this is adorable. So on the inside of it, sometimes I finish the inside, sometimes I don't. This one I was really inspired to, and what I did was just basically took some leftover pieces from the front that I had from scraps, again the same speech bubble, and I absolutely love that just because it pretty much says you know, hey, hello, you're beautiful, you, yes, 1 + 1 = us. Just everything that it said tied into the whole thing. And then the sentiment that I chose to use for the inside came from the Sweet November stamp from CC Designs that I got that says a little something for a little someone. So I just thought it all really tied in super cute, and stamped that out onto some vellum and put it over another little piece of notebook paper. And yeah, this was one of those projects that came together really easy, and I absolutely just love everything about this. Finished it off with some Wink of Stella 2 glitter on the 4 main flowers. You know, the flowers were really easy to color. The person was really easy to color. I love her hair, and it was just, it all came together super, super easy. So absolutely love this one. The more I look back on it now, I probably would add in a few enamel dots here and there, or sequins or something, but that's just because I'm in one of those phases where I have to sequin enamel dot everything. So I had this one, created this one first, and whenever I was coloring in the bunches of flowers, it inspired me to do another one. So on that sheet that I had with all the random things that I printed out before I started my project today, what I did was I had these sections here where I focused mainly on the flowers, and there was 3 of them total. This one I did not use, and then I used the other 2. The top one that I pulled off, I colored the entire thing up and colored it in my colored pencils, and then I went back with the second one and just colored the rose and the lily, and popped it up onto some foam dimensionals so that it popped up again. Put the whole bunch of flowers on foam so that that popped up really cute, and I just fussy cutted the whole way around the outside of the flowers. When you do that, there's a little bit here that's tucked behind this part of the bow where her fingers kind of touch it, but by wrapping that little bow around there, it hides it, that you can't even really tell that it was supposed to be on her. And I love this little card. I created this little card as a gift card, a tag to go on a gift bag, and it just says "Stop and smell the flowers," and that sentiment came from some Odd Girl stamp. It was one of their spring releases last year, and I just thought it completely fit. I mean, this is one of those days where everything comes together perfect. This one I just did add some sequins to a flat round circle, and then I grabbed my white enamel accents and just created all of the other little ones, the other little enamel dots. I didn't have them really small enough to fit, so I used that and colored it up with my colored pencils this time. I used my woodless colorless pencils with some Gamsol and a blending stump and blended that all out together. The back of it was just a solid piece of 120-pound weight cardstock, but what I did was I took my pumice stone distress ink and a little finger dauber like this, and instead of starting from the outside edges, how we're all used to going from the outside and working in and finishing the edges, this time I took this little thing and started in the middle to be really dark in the center, and then faded it outwards so that it's real dark behind the bunch of flowers and then it's really light around it, just adding a lot of emphasis on that bunch of flowers. But I love this little card. It turned out super adorable. Folded it over, used a little hole punch, and I had 4 layers of twine when I did this. Fed 2 through and just looped it over, and then the 2 loose ends I tied in a bow, and then the 2 ends that still have the loop on it, I left that together as a loop so that I can just fold this over like this and hang it from a gift bag. So I thought that was really cute, and I love this little card. So those are my 2 projects that I have to share with you today. And these images again were drawn and designed by Brenda, who is Brenda HDP77 here on YouTube. She has Wicked Twisted Crafter. I'll put her blog link down below for you. Her digi images are so cute and they're so inexpensive. And this one here again that I used was called 80s Love, I believe was the name of it. But I'll put a link down below for that as well. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know. Otherwise, have a great day, and I hope everybody is staying warm.